Here we've got our Polaris axes. We're going to do a complete install from the pivoting adapter all the way to the grips. We're going to do handlebars, risers, grip insulators. We're going to give you guys some tips, some tricks to make this install real simple and easier for you.
All right, so step one of this whole install is going to be to remove all the body panels and get the plastic out of our way.
After we get these panels removed and out of the way, we're going to get in there and start working with all the plug and play features we got down here so we get the handlebar assembly out. That's going to be step number one here. Let's get into it.
All right, so as you guys noticed when we started this build, there's all this clutter on the handlebars here. You know, your throttle block, your reverse switch, all that fun stuff. Well, one nice benefit that we're going to put on this sled is actually our billet throttle block. So obviously, see how flimsy that stock throttle block is? We're going to get rid of that. We don't need that. Also, we're going to have a built-in billet kill switch, so no more hitting that kill switch accidentally on your big climbs and extreme riding. So we're going to get rid of that as well.
Down in the bottom here, what I'm working on here, one of the big benefits to RSI is all the proponents are all plug and play. So we don't have to really worry about much. So I'm going to get down here, get these off so we get this handlebar assembly off here.
So on this particular setup, we're going to be using our pivot post adapter. What that allows you to do is use our standard pivoting risers along with obviously a 7/8 inch handlebar or an 1 1/8 inch.
As he's installing the pivot adapter right now, I just got done doing all of our plug and play products here. So everything's ready to go, wires back down, they're plugged in. We got some grip heaters, throttle blocks, we put the stock components back on that we're using. So we get our handlebar assembly and start getting this built. Well, Spencer just finished up our pivoting adapter. It's time to get our risers on there. Couple quick tips here between us. Number one, RSI riser has one of the only features in the industry that has a 360-degree clamping surface. Notice we have one bolt here. Okay, as we begin to clamp in, it's going to grab all the way around. That's a big advantage that we're going to have on this pivoting adapter here.
Another interesting question we get a lot is why do you guys have the metal inserts in the top of the riser? Well, one benefit to the RSI riser is you can run either a 7/8 inch handlebar or an 1 1/8. You run an 1 1/8 simply by removing the inserts themselves. 7/8, you leave the inserts in. Simple as that.
Hey, quick tip, when you're installing the pivoting risers, simply remove the bolt on the bottom. Some will go on, some will not. What you've got here is we've got a spreader. So you're going to be screwing in our set screw, bottoming it out, screwing in an adjuster here, and as you begin to tighten this down on the set screw, it'll open this up and allow you to slide that on. So some are really tight, some are loose, depending upon, you know, basically the tolerances on stock and our pivoting adapters.
As we begin the assembly here, we're going to kind of mock up our controls where we want them roughly. One thing to keep in mind is obviously how far you want that brake lever out. Also the throttle side, you know, kind of set them roughly where you want them. This determines obviously your grip heater length and everything like that goes accordingly.
Yeah, so after we've got kind of a mock-up, no need to tighten anything or get it ready to go. One of the big advantages we're opening right here of RSI is our grip insulator. It's be sliding up and over. We're going to shrink this on, make a nice protection so all the heat will come into our grip rather than to the bar here.
As we begin the throttle block installation here, one nice feature is it does use your stock throttle safety switch on your Polaris. So it just slides right in on the back side here. You just simply take the back cap off that comes on the throttle block itself. Slide that bad boy right in. And slide your billet kill switch right back over the top of it here. Then obviously your back mounting plate goes right back over the top of everything.
It's time to install the grip heater. We've got two different styles. The one we're installing today is called our extended. The extended basically means it's going to heat a handlebar with hooks. So we've got a standard, which is going to be a square pad, going to heat a straight bar. The extended is going to actually wrap around here and heat the hook, so you can get a lot more heating here, which is real nice. If you're hanging off the side, you can heat the edge of this bar too. So basically peel off the back and lightly wrap them around here and they'll stick right to our insulator, and then we'll get our grips on top of that. Quick tip, now that we installed our grip heater, great idea is you can grab black tape, very lightly get yourself some nice tight windings right around. This will help when we go to slide the grip on, make a nice smooth surface and won't have any issues with our heater. So when we install it, it's nice and clean, ready to go. So now that we've got our grip heaters on, we've wrapped our black tape, it's time to put our grips on. On this particular build, we're going to use our 8-inch, which The 8-inch grips are a little thicker, a little bigger, a little softer to use, but they only come in the one length of 8-inch. So we're gonna have to actually lay it on here, take a mark, and cut it off. It's easier to cut it twice than it is once, so make sure you can actually do a quick fit if you want, slide it on, see where you're at before we actually do our final glue here. Hit the compressed air, fill it up, and just give it a little gas. It'll slide right on. Fitment's good, cut's good. So next step is we can give it a little gas, take it off, and then we'll do our grip glue reinstall for a final fitment. One of the exclusives here at RSI is our grip glue. It's made especially for a snowmobile, and this is going to fill in to smooth out the bar, makes good transition from the heat right to your hand. So it just makes a good connection all the way from the heater to the outside of the grip. So it's a 2-part epoxy that we have designed here. You're going to open both sides of them. There's a couple different ways you can apply it. Number one, we can actually put it right in the end of the grip here. As it slides on, it'll lose for lubrication. Otherwise, some guys actually can put it right on the handlebar itself. So we prefer ourselves here at the shop just to put it right in the end of the grip itself. Now we do have glue in here, so you want to take it real easy with the air so we don't have any glue issues. And lightly push it on. And we've got a nice sealed grip. Move it around a little bit so we got some good connection with all the glue. Nice seal right there. You know, give yourself roughly about 12 hours, I'd say, for complete seal on here, and you're good to go. You've got an incredible setup ready.
All right, so the last and final step of this whole process, we're gonna go ahead and install our bar pad. As you notice, we kind of cut some channels out on the bottom side here. So for a nice and neat finish on the cables and the routing. Tuck them all in there, make it nice and neat. Then put your bar pad skin right over the top of everything.
Not uncommon to do any modifications you want to that cover. Every routing of cables, every handlebar, every machine's a little different. So, you know, the bar pad comes completely solid foam with a cutout just for your risers and your bar. So really making those nice channels and cutting it out really makes a nice touch on your own machine. We still got a few things loose here. We're still got to do some adjustments in the final. Right now we're just going to do the last step here on the wiring. We're going to do some zip ties, a couple different places, make sure we get everything laid in real cleanly and nicely. And then that last step, we'll get up there and do that last minute adjustment, which is all done by personal preference, how you want everything all set up for angles, pullbacks, positioning a throttle, brake. So we'll get these on here and we'll get that all set up. All right, we've got our hood installed, all the wiring's done. The last and final, I mean, the big thing we want to find out at the end is getting these controls, handlebars to your liking. So make sure when you're in here, you know, we can move them around, we can adjust our brake, try standing, try sitting, you can adjust the throttle block, in, out, you can move the brake left and right. Get this entire thing comfortable so that you can ride any position you want to ride. You can jump over on the side, we can pull, you know, we can reach everything. Get this entire control system ready for your riding. So last, like I said, let's get these adjusted where I particularly like them, how I'm gonna ride, where I want all my controls. So sometimes you gotta get them in a position like that, have them held like this. Go ahead and tighten her up right there. Give them the throttle block how I like it, or we're doing all of our adjustments here last. I'd say right there looks good. And then lastly here, you know, we can move these handlebars. Honestly, we've got a good position. We got them really close right out of the chute, so I'm gonna leave them right here. We'll do our last tightening on the bottom, double check all the controls for the right, double check every nut and bolt, so we've got a nice tight control and we're done.
Get that side.